I was raised in the church. My mother and father both were really deep into the church. I didn't really subscribe to that lifestyle, I guess I could say, because I didn't like being teased. I was teased a lot because we always went to church, like Sunday morning, Sunday night, during the week. Like we never did anything else but went to church. So that was one of the things that really deterred me from going to church, because we were constantly there and I never got a chance to participate in parties or go to after school functions and do different things other kids were doing. I always felt alone. I always felt singled out, I'm just this one person sheltered from the world by my own little bubble. And I think I was running from it. I started out just by drinking beer and just hanging out and smoking cigarettes with the guys. That's how I started to fit in. That's how I started to feel like I was a part of something. And as we hung out more and we drank more, I needed something that could make me have more energy. And that's how I found Coke. Getting high on cocaine and drinking. That's my party lifestyle. We would go to different states to find Coke. We worked as much as we could when it would allow us to work, and that was boom. When we get done work, what we gotta go do? We get up in the morning, this is what we gotta do. My cocaine addiction would lead me to a lifestyle of going to jail. After I did 3 years, I was finally released. A year later, we got married, and I had my first son. But they say, in the world of NA and AA, every time I go somewhere, the real me shows up. Sooner or later, the real me showed up. And that started a 16-year downhill spiral of my marriage from that one relapse after my son was born. And just one night out of nowhere, the other guy showed up, and he was getting high. And that other guy was me. My addiction and myself was dragging everybody down until my wife couldn't take it anymore. Every minute, every chance that I had, I was either getting high or I was getting drunk. I was separated from my kids for almost a year, and they just didn't want to be around me. What am I gonna do now? I have absolutely no place to go. Nowhere. My mom and dad, I think by now, are getting ready to move to Virginia with my little sister. I'm divorced. Then I got my car. My car got repossessed. I got evicted. Where am I gonna go? That's really how my homelessness started. It was almost 3 years, 2.5 years that I was on the street. I think it was Sunday afternoon. She sounded like she was real tired. So I was like, Mom, you okay? She's like, yeah, I just feel sleepy. I'm tired a little bit. I said, well, I can tell you sound like you're tired. I was like, I love you. And I love you too. I said, you know what, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. You go on and get some rest. I'm gonna call you first thing in the morning. I said, don't forget, but I love you. And then my sister called me and told me that she passed away. So I just hung up the phone. I was like, I don't even wanna do this anymore. I was kind of telling God, I don't even want to do this anymore. I don't want to get high. I don't want to be in the shelter system. I don't want to drink anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore, because now the love of my life is gone. This is the love of my life. She was hard on me. She was rough with me, but she was making me and teaching me life lessons to get me to this point where I got to live life without her. I never really understood that until the day we put her in the ground. All them lessons, all the times she was hard on me, she was building my character to get me to be able to live a life without her. And, and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I packed up all my stuff that I had. A bag full of clothes, socks and underwear. And I went to this place called Whosoever Gospel Mission in Philadelphia. I began to get to the point of the program where I was able to go out, go to church, go to the store by myself. And I started flipping through churches in the area. And I think that was the beginning of me really starting to seek God out. I think God had this tremendous way of mending broken hearts. I think that's what is really happening in my life when I started to watch Epic. And the more I clicked here, the more I began to feel like I was coming into something that no matter what happened, I would never be alone. Like I was stepping into something that was bigger than me, that was more important than me, that meant something that was gonna be good for my life. I got my kids started on the Epic, and they came with me a couple of times to do like the setup. Yeah, I'm like a miracle in progress. And for like the rest of my life, it's like, I'm just gonna keep trying to grow. I'm gonna keep doing what God tells me to do. I'm gonna go where He tells me to go. I'm gonna say what He tells me to say. And I don't really care who doesn't like it, but I'm gonna do it in love. Like, He needed me to be able to tell somebody that you can go from being on the street to being in an apartment with a messed up credit score and messed up this and get into an apartment. Even when it seemed like I was alone, He was there. I couldn't survive some of the stuff I did on my own. I couldn't survive some of the things I've been through on my own. I couldn't live through it. I can walk, I can talk, I can see, I can move, I can be dressed on my own, I can cook for myself. All these other things that could have happened to me. You know, I've been protected from like so much. There's a lot of my story that I've been told, but I think it's only God's grace that really kept me. To get me to where I am now, when I should have been dead 30 years ago. My philosophy used to be that simple prayer every day got me closer to God, but also got me farther away from getting high. So I practice that every single day, a simple prayer. That simple prayer gets me closer to God and farther away from being on the street. My name is Eric Butcher, and I'm a recovering addict. This is my before and after.